Hello guys, and welcome back to another Blender tutorial. Today I'm going to be showing you how to model a tire and a hub in Blender, and even though these look like quite complicated objects, there are a lot of ways we can simplify the process using some array modifiers. So I'll quickly show you guys what I mean here. This is going to be an arrayed system, so we only have to model one little part of it and kind of array it around a curve, which I'm going to show you step by step how to do. So this is something you want to learn, keep watching, and I will be uploading my original result to my Patreon. So let's get started. So inside of Blender, what we're going to do is we're going to select all of the default objects. We're going to press delete. Then we're going to go Shift A. We're going to go to Mesh Options, and we're going to add in a plane. With this plane, we're going to go to a modifier. So we're going to give it a mirror. And then what we're going to do is we're going to tab into edit mode. And because this is mirrored on the X axis, what we're going to do is we're going to go G, X, and move it over. And you can see it's being mirrored along the X. So in our front orthographic view, we'd see this, okay, in our front view. That's exactly what we want. So what we're going to do is with this active, we're going to go S.1 and we're going to hit enter to scale it down. And we're going to go G, X, and just move these two closer together like so. And then what we're going to do, we're going to go to the top orthographic view. Then we're going to select these two verts over here, and we're going to go G, and we're going to move them up and over like this. So we have this sort of shape. Then we're going to go Shift D to duplicate. And we're going to go X and just move it along to make a little bit of a gap. And then we're going to go E to extrude. And let's go X just to extrude along the X. Let's make it about the same distance as this over here. And then we're going to go G, Y, and bring it down along the Y. Remember, we're in a top orthographic view, so that's why I'm saying we're bringing it down from this perspective. Then we're going to go G, X, maybe just move it in a little bit, just so it kind of matches this shape here. And then we're going to go Shift D to duplicate, bring it over on the X a little bit, just keeping a small gap. And then we're going to go E to extrude. Let's take this one up to, let's say about here. And then E, X, extrude along the X a little bit. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go Shift D, make another little one, and just leave that there for now. I'm going to tab back out, and then we're going to come over here and give this an array modifier. And let's come here and make it 0. And then on the Y, we're going to make it 1. Maybe 1 is a bit too big, so let's just bring that down. We just want a small gap like that. And then we can come over here and let's type in a number like 58 just to get started. In fact, maybe let's go actually 65. I think that's a good number for now. Yeah, so 65, we'll go with that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go Shift A. We're going to go to our curve options, add in a circle. And if this circle here, we're going to go R, Y, 90, and we're going to hit enter. Then we're going to select these tire treads here, and we're going to go, and let's just give that a curve modifier. Click on this little eyedropper and then select this. And now you can see this is what we have. And then let's come to the deform axis over here. Let's click on it and let's just make that Y, or actually let's go with negative Y. Okay, so negative Y, and you can see it's looking a bit crazy. So what we have to do here is this is kind of all overlapping. So what we're going to do is just go S, and we're going to scale this down, and we're going to scale it. Let's go about this much, like that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to come here and increase the segments a little bit more. So just till things look right, if you want this wheel to be wide, you can leave it like this. I'm going to scale mine down just a bit more, like that, and then increase the segments to whatever it needs to be. Once you get to a close point here, so I'm going to go with something like 84. Once you get close over here, to close this gap, you can just come over here and just fine tune this amount here. So I might make it 6.693, or maybe even a little bit less. It might be a different number for you depending on how you set things up, but just try and get it as close as possible. So that's what I'm going to be going with. And inside of edit mode, you can always come in here and you can just kind of scale things on the X a little bit and just bring it all in if you don't want it to be quite as wide. So there's a lot of ways you can approach these sort of things. We're now going to go Shift A. We're going to add in a circle. We're going to go R, Y, 90, and we're going to hit enter. And then what we're going to do is in our front view, we're going to move it to our right. We're going to go G, X, and move it over to our right. And bring it over here. We're going to tab into edit mode, S to scale it slightly. And then we're going to go E to extrude and X and extrude it in along the X. Let's come here and give this a mirror modifier. And at the moment, our origin point is in the wrong place. So we're just going to tab back out and just go Control A and apply the location. And let's also just go Control A and apply the rotation. And now it's mirrored on the x-axis. Let's enable clipping and we can go G, X, and just bring this back till it snaps together. So now this thing over here is mirrored on this side as well. And what we're going to do is we're going to select this edge here and we're going to go E to extrude, S to scale it down about this much, and then go G, X, and bring it out a bit like this. Then we're going to come over here, Control R, left click twice to add in a loop, and then go Alt S, scale it out along the normals, and then go Control B, and just bevel it and roll in some segments by rolling your middle mouse button. So that's what we're going with, something like that. Tab back out, right click, and go Shade Smooth. Now what we can do is we can grab this tread over here, and let's go over to our modifiers. Let's give that a solidify, and let's give it some solidity. So, and for me, I'm dragging that into the negatives because of the way my normals are. I'm just going to grab the wheel over here. I'm just going to press H to hide it. And of this tread here, we want to come over and make it rim only, so we don't have the inside over here. We're just going to want these caps. And then we're going to come over here and give that a bevel. Bring down that bevel amount to quite a small amount, and then increase the segment count to something like 3. And let's go something like that. Okay, that's looking really good. Now I'm going to go Alt H to bring back the tire. With this over here, I'm just going to tab into edit mode. A to select everything, and I'm just going to go S, and I'm just going to scale it up a bit till our track is nicely embedded in there, like so. So now you can see what this is looking like, but we can make it look even better by tabbing into edit mode. And let's select these two we left over here. And we're going to go E to extrude and X, and extrude out in the X. Then we're going to go G, Z, and just bring it down like so. And let's tab back out and let's see what that looks like. Okay, you can see it's not quite where we want it to be. So we're going to just bring it in a little bit. Tab back out, let's see what that looks like. Okay, now it's embedded in there properly, but it looks a bit square. So let's just tab back in and let's just turn off the solidify for now by hiding it. Control R, add in a loop, left click twice, Alt S and scale it out, and then go Control B just to make a bevel like this and rolling in some segments. And then we can turn that back on, tab back out, and now this is what we have. We can right click with this selected and go Shade Smooth. So now that goes all the way around like so. And to make this look even better, I guess what we could do is in edit mode, this is optional, but I'm just going to enable proportional editing. And I'm going to roll my middle mouse button down, and I'm just going to kind of drag it this way. And I think that just looks a lot better. Okay, cool. Now it gives kind of like a nice pattern. Might have to come over here with the array and just adjust this a little bit till the gap is just right. Okay, that's looking better. It's not going to be exactly the same for you, but you get the overall workflow here. And what we're going to do, we're going to select this inner bit, and we're going to just give it a subdivision surface modifier. And then we're going to tab into edit mode, and we're going to select it. And we're going to go E to extrude, S to scale just a little bit. And then E to extrude and X, and we're going to extrude it in on the X just a tiny bit, and then E to extrude X, extrude it in some more, and then tab back out. Now we have that part of our tire. So what we're going to do next, now that we have the tire, is we're going to actually be making the rim. And let's select the whole wheel and everything we have here, and let's go RZ90 and hit enter, so it's rotated this way now. And in our front orthographic view, we're going to go Shift A, we're going to add in a plane, tab into edit mode, and then go RX90 and hit enter. And then go S to scale it down in edit mode, turn off proportional editing. And let's give this a mirror modifier, and then go G and move it over to the side, and let's move it up a little bit to about here. Then we're going to select these two top verts. I'm going to go E to extrude. We're going to extrude them over to the side and rotate them. And then E to extrude up to here and rotate a bit. And we're going to leave that roughly as it is for now. We'll tab back out. Then we're going to go Shift A. We're going to add in an empty. We're going to go with a cube. And it's important that the cube origin point and the origin point of this is exactly in the middle. They both got to be in the same place for this to work. So let's select this over here. And in our front view, we're going to go R72 and hit enter. So we've rotated it if you actually go to your transform, we've rotated it on the Y by 72 degrees. So that way, if we grab this now and we give it an array, and we go over to our object offset, we can select this over here. And let's just get rid of this factor here. Let's just make that 0. So now it's actually going to rotate 5 times within 360 degrees. And that's why we went with 72 degrees. That's why if we come here now, we increase this number to 5, we have it arrayed 5 times around. So we tab in here now. What we can do is we can move this bit up over here. We can move this over here. And this is a really cool way for you guys to make any sort of custom shape you want. So let's just bring this up over here. S to scale it a bit. Let's grab this over here, scale it a little bit. And let's now grab these two and let's go to our mirror. Let's enable clipping and go G, X and bring those two together. And then over here, what we're gonna do, we're gonna bring this one over here, like so. And this is a bit tricky, but we're gonna just roughly line these up so they're kind of even with each other. We're gonna go E to extrude and bring them as close together as we can over here to close the gap. But what we need to do, we need to go to our array and enable merge. And that should roughly merge those in place. Then let's select this one over here. Let's go G, Z, move that up. So we're trying to make a rough circle here. And then what we're gonna do, we're gonna select these guys here. We're gonna go G, Y, and just move it back for now. And we're gonna tab back out. So let's just leave it at that for now. Let's just make the inner rim parts. We're gonna go Shift A. Let's just add in a circle. We're gonna tab into edit mode, go RX90, hit enter. Then we're gonna go G, Y, and move this forward, and then S to scale it down. So we wanna place it right over here where our tire kind of starts. Then we're gonna go E to extrude, S to scale. Then we're gonna go E to extrude Y, extrude it in on the Y a little bit. S to scale just a little bit. And then we're gonna go E to extrude Y, extrude it in. Then E to extrude, S to scale once again, just a bit, and then E to extrude Y and take it in like this. And then we're gonna go E to extrude, S to scale, and we're gonna kind of scale it out a little bit, like so, as you can see. Then we're gonna go E to extrude and Y and extrude it all the way to the back here, like that. And then when we come to the back here, we're gonna try and match it up as close as we can. We're gonna go E to extrude, S to scale, and then G, Y, and let's just kind of move that back over here. And then over here, we're gonna come, this is optional, but inside of here, you can go Control R, add in a loop, roll your middle mouse button once to add in 2 segments, double click, and then go S, Y, and scale it along the Y just a little bit. Then go E to extrude, and then Alt S, and scale in along the normals, like that. Then what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna tab back out. I'm gonna go give this a bevel modifier. I'm gonna bring down the amount and increase the segment count. And then I'm gonna give it a subdivision surface modifier. I'm gonna right click and go shade smooth. So now we have that inner part like so. So now we can grab this thing here and holding in shift, select the empty as well. G, Y, and move it forward just till this is kind of sitting in there like that. I'm going to select this now. I'm going to tab back into edit mode. I'm going to select this bit up here. G, Y, move it forward to about here. And now that's all kind of in the correct place. So what we're going to do now is we're going to come over here, get our edge select this edge over here, move it in a bit. Control B to bevel and roll the middle mouse button to add in some segments like so. Let's just left click. And now what we're going to do is we're going to select all of these faces here, all the way down to here. And we're going to go I to inset it. And then we're going to go Alt S to scale out along the normals like so. And then what we're going to do is we're going to come in here and delete this face right over here. And we're going to come in here, Control R, left click once and slide it up. And it should go all the way around because we have this little bit of topology up here. So now when we give this a subdivision surface modifier, it's going to give us a nice sharp bevel over there, which is exactly what we want. But one thing we can do as well is come up here and go Control R, left click in edit mode and just slide it up to tighten it up here. So you can see kind of how that's looking at the moment. We're getting somewhere, but we've got to kind of make the lug nut. So let's come in here. And what I'm going to do, actually, I'm just going to delete these faces, these two here. I'm going to go X and delete the faces. And in the front orthographic view, I'm going to select this edge over here. And I'm going to go Shift D to duplicate it and bring it over here. And I'm going to go E to extrude and extrude it down like this. And I'm going to grab this face edge over here. I'm going to go E to extrude and extrude it till these two kind of clip together. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to go Control R, add in a loop here, left click and slide it up. So now we can take this face and this face. And we can go F to add a face over here. Then we can select this one here and this one here. We're going to go F to add a face, and let's do the same over here. So now that's connected up. Now what we're going to do is we're going to bring these edges down a little bit more, like so. And over here, we're going to go K. We're going to press K to get our cut tool. And let's click over here where there's a vertex over here. And let's go to our vertex option. Actually, it'll make it easier. So over here, we have a vertex. We're going to press K. I'm going to click here and then click over here. And then click on the next vertex and press enter. Then we're going to come over here and click on the vertex. We're going to go down to here and then go down to the corner vertex here, click on there and go enter. And then we're going to press K again and click on here and then click on this edge here and press enter. So now what we've made here is a face. So if we select this face, we can go E to extrude, S to scale, like that. And then we're going to go X and just delete that face. So now we kind of have our hole over here. And what we're going to do is just bring these two edges down a bit more and then bring these ones out to make it a little bit bigger. In fact, we might have to make it a lot bigger. So I'm just going to bring this down on the Z quite a bit. I'm going to come over here, Control R to add in a segment. And let's just grab these verts and bring them in more. Okay, and then I'm going to go Control R to add in a segment here. Then I'm going to move these verts in here, just rounding it out. And then Control R over here to do the same thing, moving it out like so, and moving this down along the Z. So that's looking a lot better. And then over here, we want these to fuse together. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to select all of these verts over here, except the last one. I'm going to go E to extrude, bring them all together here, and then R to rotate. And rotate them till they all kind of fuse together. And then over here, what I'm going to do, I'm going to separate this one and go E to extrude to bring a little vertex here, and then just select these four verts and go F to fill. And now that fills that up. Let's select this vertex here, go E to extrude, kind of bring it here till they fuse, and then select this one. So just these four verts and go F and fill that. And the topology here might be a little bit messy at the moment. So let's just come over here with the K tool. So press K to cut, and let's come across here like this. I'm clicking on each one of these edges all the way to here. I'm going to press enter. And then I'm just going to select this edge over here and I'm going to go X and just dissolve that edge. And then I'm going to get the cut tool again and just cut from here to here. And then just slide this up. Now that topology is a lot cleaner. And over here you can see it's not looking quite right. So if we just select these two verts over here, we can kind of just move them around till all the gaps kind of close themselves a little bit. Let's do it over here. Okay, that's looking okay. And let's tab back out. Let's right click and go shade smooth. And you can see we have some normal issues. So if we tab back in and we press A to select everything, we can go Alt N and just go recalculate outside and it'll fix those normal issues for us. So now in edit mode, let's just grab this vertex here, go E to extrude and Y to move it back. And we can see with these ones here, they're kind of overlapping. So let's go into our front view and in wireframe, let's just kind of move them up like so, till they all kind of fuse. So bring these ones here and these ones here. Okay, there we go. So we have this one over here. So we're going to select this one, this one, this one, and this one. Let's just go F to fill that with a face. And then let's just select these three verts over here. Or these four verts. So this one, this one, this one, and this one. And then go F to fill that as well. And we might have to come over here as well. Just adjust these two till all the gaps kind of close themselves like you can see over here. You may also have to come over to your array and under the merge, let's just increase the distance to 0.02 or maybe even 0.03 till that all kind of closes itself. So now that's closed the gap with increasing that distance there and just adjusting that a little bit. So now what we can do is in edit mode, we can just select these here, go E to extrude and Y, extrude them back. So now we have that. And then we're going to come over here and fill all of this by selecting all of these verts over here. and then go E to extrude and extrude them all kind of down. In fact, what I'm going to do, I'm going to press F3 and I'm just going to go merge. I'm just going to merge them all at the center and then kind of bring them here to the center like that, just to kind of bring everything together. And they should all merge quite nicely. So now we have that all merged, and now we have this bit. So what we're going to do, we're just going to tab into edit mode again and just select this edge over here. So these edges along here, and then these ones over here, with the exception of these ones. So just the ones that are at the back of these spokes here. And we're going to go E to extrude and Y. And we're just going to extrude it back like this to give them some thickness. And then we're going to just deselect this little one over here. And all of these have the same amount. So if we also just come up here quickly and deselect this one. So we have all of the ones on this side selected and all of the ones on this side. We can go Control E and we can go bridge edge loops, and that should bridge it all. We can come here, Control R, left click, and just slide once. Like so. Control R, left click, and just slide, add in one over here. And now we have that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to select these two. And I'm going to move them a little bit more forward along the Y. And if you wanted to, you can add in some lug nuts as well. And what you could do is, if you wanted to, you could apply all of this. And you can come in here, clean it up a little bit, and then just close all the faces at the back here. In fact, what I'm going to do, however, is I'm just going to go Shift A. I'm going to add in a circle. I'm going to tab into edit mode and go F to fill that, and then go S to scale it down. I'm going to go RX90, hit enter, and then just kind of tuck this in here like that, and then go E to extrude it out, just to kind of cap that. And I'm going to tab back out, and I'm going to leave it at that. So that is how to make a cool looking wheel hub, and you can add in some lug nuts here if you wanted to, but I'm going to leave it at that. So what we're going to do now, we're going to just select all of this and move it up so it's sitting on the floor. And then I'm just going to grab this, I'm going to press M, I'm going to go new collection, and I'm going to go OK, just to move it out of the way. Then I'm going to select this array over here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply everything like this, working my way down. And then I'm going to select this hub over here, the inner tire part, and I'm going to apply that as well. And then I'm going to hold in Shift and join it to the tread. So I'm going to go Control J to join that. So that's all one object. And now let's select the hub over here. Let's just apply all of those modifiers. And then select this one over here and apply all of those modifiers to the inner part of the hub. Holding in Shift, join it to the main one over here by going Control J. So now we have this part over here, and we could actually grab this plate over here and just join it to this as well. So now we have this part, and then we have this part. And what we're going to do, we're going to select the wheel over here, and holding in Shift, we're going to select the inside hub. We're going to go Control P, and we're going to go Object, keep transform. So now it's parented to this. If we grab this, everything else goes along, and we can select just that Bezier curve. We can delete it. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that. So now we have our wheel. So at this point, let's just quickly give this a simple material. We're just going to go to cycles, and let's just go Z. Let's go rendered. Let's just give this a simple area light. I'm going to move it up. Let's increase the strength quite a bit and make it a bit larger. Duplicate it, have it pointing forward a little bit. And then we're going to select this tire. We're going to go to our materials, go new. Let's just give it a nice blackish sort of gray material. Let's leave the roughness as it is. And let's just select the hub. Let's just go new. And let's make that metallic. Let's just make it a little bit darker on the value. And let's go to our roughness and just bring it down just a little bit. And now we have that. So that is a very simple material you could add. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to save this to my desktop. And I'm also just going to show you guys my original. So this is my original over here, which I'll be uploading to Patreon. It's the exact same thing, but I've just spent a little bit more time with my materials and added in some nice lighting. So that'll be on my Patreon, but I hope you guys have enjoyed this tutorial on how to model a wheel. And by the way, with this one here, I also just added a quick remesh to kind of fuse all of these together, and I thought that just looks a little bit nicer. But that's all optional, and the downside of that is it definitely adds a lot more topology. but it's also something you guys could do if you wanted to. So I'll see you next time for another tutorial.